Hey there, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Empress Shoshana. I'm a spiritual life coach and a psychic. And you know what? I was thinking, when was the last time I introduced myself? A lot of things have changed over the course of this channel. When I first started, I was a tarot reader. The channel was called Tarot by Shoshana. And I entered the world of tarot over a decade ago. I met up originally, I wanted to learn how to do palmistry. That's how when you can read palms, the lines, you know what all these mean. This is allegedly is a lifeline, and it doesn't look like that long. There's all this happening, which makes me a little concerned, but whatever. So I wanted to learn how to read palms. And I met up with a friend, a colleague who was a palm reader, to ask her all these questions and how long it took her. And she told me that it took her 2 years. I think she went to a class once a week for 2 hours. And it was for 2 years. I was like, what else you got? Because that takes way too long. I don't want to take that long. And then she told me about tarot. I was like, huh, tarot sounds interesting. I'd heard of tarot before. Of course, many people usually hear about tarot because of the movies and you see the death card and you're like, oh, and the death card is not really about immediate death, physical death, but that's how they portray it in the movies, and that's fine. But I also heard that no one actually had told me in my family that tarot was evil. I just had the idea, the impression that they thought that it was. And so I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do that. This sun is killing me. So I'm going to close these windows. Okay, there I am. That's better. So, but in any event, I was sold. I went to Barnes and Noble, like it wasn't right after work, because I went out to lunch with her and then I went back to work. And then after work, I was like, I'm going to Barnes and Noble. And I picked up my first deck and I just followed the instructions that they told me to. They told me to, the advice I feel like is usually given is you pick a card every day, or, and you write, you journal about it and all the keywords. So I did that. And the instructions also told me to sleep with the deck under my pillow so that I could connect with it. And I thought that was weird, but I was like, all right, well, I'm committed. I'm going to do it anyway. And so I did. And that was kind of how it started. I started buying all these books on tarot and trying to remember the meanings and all that. And over a decade now, I'm here having real confidence in reading the tarot, even the court cards. But more so, what I have done since then is I have really expanded my spiritual tools, we'll say. I've dipped into mediumship. I've done astrology, Reiki certified, crystal certified. I'm certified in another technique, which I don't remember, so you can see how much I use that. It can't be angel healing. I can't remember the name of it, but it was taking me to going through and testing out every single thing. Like, do I like this? And for me, and I like to really master something. If I'm interested in it, I'm consumed in it. I want to study everything about it. I want to know everything about it. So then how do you do that? You take a course. So many courses. So I took a course for mediumship. And it was during mediumship training that my guides, my ancestors, my people from the other side just kept saying, integrate, like stop learning everything and start integrating stuff so you can implement it. And so then finally, that's what I ended up doing. And then I was doing astrology and tarot reading. Then I dropped the tarot reading and I picked up psychic readings. And actually, the psychic readings came to me because I was doing Reiki. Reiki feels like, the gateway to other realms. So I was doing Reiki and I was doing it remotely. And I did it with someone and I was just getting information about them. Things like they're popping up. I'm like, So I started sharing that with the people after the sessions, and they said that it made sense to them or they could resonate or, messages. I'm like, oh, okay. And so I teetered and I was doing Reiki and readings. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go for it and just do full-on psychic readings. And I took a course with that, with Crystal Moreland, the Freedom Medium. So solar psychic solopreneur course she has, and psychic mediumship, so I can grow my abilities and then I can help other people. Where I am right now is spiritual life coach and psychic. So I don't give individual readings now. I don't sell them sessions one-on-one anymore. I have my membership, which I have been telling you about. It is the thing that I love the most. But what I feel called to do is really help people with their spiritual life, really connecting to your spiritual life, because it's what you believe spiritually. I believe what you believe spiritually, that's kind of your foundation. And then you go on from there. And if you don't have a spiritual foundation, whatever you want to believe, if you're not solid in it, then you may be feeling lost. And I don't care what you believe. It's not my job to tell anybody what they believe, but it is, I feel, my mission, my job is to help you get solid and learn what it is what you believe, not just taking in what you've been taught, told, and trained to believe, but what do you actually believe? When you take out other people's expectations away from everything that you learned growing up, maybe your parents told you or friends or whatever. It's like when you remove all of that and you start really looking into it, like what feels true for me, what works for me, because that's what I went through. I went through like, okay, I grew up Episcopalian, and I can recite the entire service backwards and forwards still to this day. And I love that experience. But then when it came to me, it's like, okay, what do I actually believe? Like, what is it that's really going to move me forward? What is it actually is the foundation? What's going to make me feel good? What's going to make me feel heard and held by the spirit realm? And I did take a course on Witchcraft 101 with the lovely Fiona Duncan at the Magical Path School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. It was a year and a day course. So every month we learned something different, and she was there to help and to support. So working with the planets right now, connected to my angels, like all of those things, doing magic. Yes, I am here for all of it. And so it's been like a real journey to test out everything, see, okay, what do I like of all the things that I study? What do I like? What am I staying with? I still work with my crystals, my selenite that I keep here. And it's just putting all these things together and then picking and choosing from the things that I've learned and creating my own belief system, my own spiritual practice, my own morning practice, and how I'm connecting to what I call my spirit squad, which is the angels, the ancestors, the guides, everyone in the spirit realm. And that is what has worked well for me. So who am I? I'm a person who I am on a path of exploration, and I am getting better and better every single day. I learn to give myself grace when I don't do my best, or even when I think I do my best, but no one else does. I'm learning to release control of the things that I cannot physically control, which is how other people see me, how other people view me, or anything. And it is a learn as you go experience. So many times I do wish that I could just ask my guides, please just take all these negative emotions from me so I don't have to feel them anymore as I work through learning how to grow through them. But they tell me all the time that there's only way you can get through it is to go through it. I hate that. But what I have learned when I come to my guides, even this morning, I was going through something like really catastrophizing. I think that's the word. That's the word we're going with. Making something up that was, when I think about it, has nothing to do with it, what actually happened. I am totally assuming. And I went to my guides and I said, help, just help me. Please, please, please help me in a way. Just, you know what? Make today more delightful than I could have ever imagined. That was my prayer. And I will say, like, within an hour or two, it doesn't always work that way, but in an hour or two, like the emotion, like the answers, like something clicked and made sense. I'm like, girl, why are you worrying about it like this when you think about it like this or this is not real? And it just totally elevated my mood. I feel so much better than I felt an hour ago. I can't even tell you. I'm so relieved. And so doing that has taken me 3 years to get to be quite honest, of being able to actually come to my guides and to ask them for help first, to remember that they're around. Because I don't know about you, but there have been many times when you're like, you have all these tools. I have the crystals, I have the Reiki, I have the this, I have the that. But then when something goes wrong, my tendency was to think, I'm all alone. I'm suffering by myself. There's nothing I can do. But this, I would say, in the last 3 months, I would say, I do remember that I am not alone. And you're not alone. Whether you work with your fairies, whether you work with your guides, your angels, your God, the universe, whoever, when it comes time for you to go through, when you're going through whatever you're going through, always do your best to remember that you're not alone. You can always ask for help. And so these 3 months, I have remembered to ask for help. And when I ask for help, just like Abraham Hicks says, when you ask, it is given. And it really and truly is, but you have to remember to ask. When you're going through the thick of it, you have to remember to ask. And I would say I have learned to remember to ask. And when I've been asking, the results have been so much better. I've learned so much more, and it's just amazing. It doesn't stop me from going through the situations, but the time it takes for me to get over them or to learn from them, because there's always a lesson in it, isn't it? To go through it has shortened tremendously. And that is because the thing that I was freaking out over, oh my gosh, I would have been ruined my whole rest of my week and my weekend. But now it's like, no, it's still annoying a little bit, but it doesn't feel as heavy and as all encompassing as it used to be. And that is what also we help teach in the Divine Sanctuary. So that's about me. My guy said that that's what I'm supposed to say, and that's all I'm supposed to say. So I would love to know, who are you? How would you introduce yourself? Not so much what your titles are, but like who you are inside. Are you a person that gives yourself grace? Are you a person who wants to give yourself grace? Are you a type of person who sees the best in things for other people, but when it comes to you, you're like, I don't know about that? Because I've been there too. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. As I always like to say, remember that you are worthy, you are deserving, and you are safe with yourself. And I will see you in the next video.